I don't know if it's going to be that same 5
I
across the line.
I agree with you. I do not think it's going to be same 5. Our rankings will be wrong.
And we are underway here at the 2018 Nuttycombe, Wisconsin Invitational Women's 6K race. New Mexico, Colorado, Boise State, all in this event, and many other teams scrambling, scratching, clawing to get all the points that they can out of this late September race.
It'll be interesting to see who goes to the front, who controls the race early on. Is it going to be Kurgat? Is it going to be Ostrander? Is it going to be someone else? It'll be interesting what the strategy the Lobos take with their top runners up front. And I do not see, where is New Mexico? There they are. There's the blue of New Mexico there. You see their top 4 already together. Ava Cohen, the newest Lobo there up front with Prouse, Kurgat, and Kaladi. And as they're going down, this is a long home stretch. It's a, straightaway. It's about 800 meters before they get to their first turn coming through. And, yeah, you see the Lobos there in the middle of your screen leading the charge here. This is very similar to an NCAA race. You have 30-plus teams, so same number of bodies all on a start line. So this is good practice for the top teams here.
First time for Adva Cohen in that turquoise of New Mexico, 9:29 in the steeple this summer at the World U20 Championships, and she won 6 NJCAA titles during her year at Iowa Central last year. And here's the first little roller as we see Wayne Kaladi of New Mexico up there in the front, and that's Rachel MacArthur of Villanova in the white, Ali Ostrander in orange of Boise State on the left, as Kurgat and Cohen and Kaladi and Prouse seemed like they have a plan here to go to the front early on and flex their muscles.
I see 2 freshmen there, also Julia Patterson of Penn State and the Arkansas runner Robinson, who won the Chili Pepper Festival just 7 days ago. So less than 7 days ago, Saturday of last week. So she's coming back from a good effort there in Arkansas. You see this full field coming through, but wow, right away, 4 Lobos to the front. There's no one in front of the 4 Lobos. That's very impressive. They are single, like straight line. It's Lobo, Lobo, Lobo early on, a little over 2 minutes into this race. This is an impressive run if they can hold on to finish those top 4 up there in the top 10.
Yeah, Kurgat and Kaladi, I think natural front runners, you can say. This isn't just a strategic move. I think this is how they like to run best. We saw them during track season do the same thing, both at the regional meet and at the national championships, really try to push the pace early on and make it honest. And when you have runners in there like Danny Jones of Colorado, who has an incredible 1,500-meter PR, one of the best 1,500-meter runners in the nation, not just in college, you want to make her run all 6,000 meters. You don't want this thing to lag at all. But left to right there, that's Kaladi, Kurgat, Prouse, and then Cohen. 4 across for New Mexico, as Ostrander's on the left now. It looks like she's ready to join them.
Yeah, Mountain West well represented with Boise State and New Mexico all up front. Got some Oklahoma State athletes there in the mix. Columbia there on the right side of your screen in that front group as well. But don't see where Danny Jones is of Colorado. She's kind of somewhere probably in that middle of that front group. Look for her to kind of stay strong in that front group. Also, there's Alicia Monson of Wisconsin, the home course runner right here. She's trying to put on a good show for the Wisconsin fan base here. The Wisconsin women have a great team here. They're a top 15 type team. They have 2 individuals in Monson and Amy Davis who can be All-Americans when it comes to the NCAA championship. So she's putting herself there up front. But big pack, it is very wide. It's not, people are running on the inside of the shrubbery. Yeah, but everyone is there together here so far, 4 minutes into this race.
Yeah, you mentioned Monson, 18th last spring in the 5,000 outdoors at the NCAA championships. 139th though last year in cross country. Expect her to have a much better showing this time around, as you get a great shot as they climb a hill, just how deep and packed. There is no real estate available on this course right now. Kurgat up front with Ostrander. Those 2 have tangled many, many times in Mountain West championships, in national championships, and today once again at Nuttycombe. Ostrander, 2-time NCAA steeple champion for Boise State. She was 2nd in the cross-country national championships in 2015. and then last year she was 4th. So incredible consistency throughout Ali Ostrander's career, just All-American appearances upon All-Americans. So
I mean, Alio is on pace to have 4 top 4 finishes, which would be incredible consistency for the Boise State junior. And that is that star freshman from New Zealand and from Arkansas, Katarina Robinson. She's ranked 23rd now in our individual rankings after her impressive chili pepper performance. But Arkansas got a stud in a young freshman there from New Zealand. She ran 9:03 in a 3K before arriving to Fayetteville, and she's putting herself up there with the big guns there in Kurgat, Prowse, Kaladi, and Ostrander.
Yeah, a lot of international representation there with New Zealand for Katrina Robinson, Edna Kurgat from Kenya, Wayne Kaladi from Eritrea, Charlotte Prowse from Canada, Adva Cohen from Israel up there in the front of the pack. See some Iowa State runners there on the right.
So they're coming up on the 2K split now. They're in the back wooded area. You see there in the map on the lower part of your screen. A little bit of rolling hills here in this wood as they kind of go up a big hill and then have a nice little dip here right before they hit that 2K split. So we'll be coming up on that 2K mark momentarily, coming up on 6 minutes and 30 seconds here in the course. Here's 2K. So 2K, they are 6:33 through 2K for our leaders.
Thought for a moment you could see Danny Jones of Colorado there in the mass of runners behind the leaders. Not 100% sure as you see just how densely populated it is 2 kilometers into the race.
So the question now is, where is New Mexico's 5th? And as of right now, looking through, we'll see when New Mexico's 5th comes through that 2K mark as we have some live results coming through. But right now, New Mexico is leading with over Boise State. Again, teams are still coming through, but as soon as we get the official 2K split team scores, we'll let you know. But right now, New Mexico, obviously, with 4 in the top 4, is leading the team battle.
Sinclair Johnson of Oklahoma State is up there in the bright orange. You can see her in between Charlotte Prowse and Adva Cohen on the right of your screen. A couple Villanova runners out there on the right, and then on the left for Villanova, that's Rachel MacArthur, the junior. Katrina Robinson running really strong for a freshman in the red of Arkansas, like Gordon mentioned, ran 6 days ago and won the chili pepper meet in Fayetteville.
So right now, New Mexico's 5th place runner is in 101st. That's Katarina Thomas. Their 6th runner is in 114th. So New Mexico's 5 through 7 did not get out that well. They're back into the core of the pack. Katarina Thomas came through 2K in 6:52, so she was about 9 seconds back from the leader. So they're still in that group, so they can definitely work their way up. But right now, New Mexico is leading at the 2K mark with 115 points. Boise State in 2nd with 129. Arkansas 3rd, 130. Villanova 4th, 151. Columbia in 5th with 200. NC State 233. Indiana 237. Colorado, the number 2 team in the nation, starting off conservatively with 244. You don't even see any Colorado athletes on your screen right now. So Colorado is going to have to work their way up in the second part of this race. You see those team scores there at the 2K split. Like I said, New Mexico 115 to Boise State's 129.
Well, how many times have we seen that from Colorado? They've made their living both in the men's and the women's race, just being incredibly patient and coming on in the final kilometers of the race. So still a lot of running, obviously, to go there. But right now, it's all New Mexico for the first 4. Interesting, though, in that B race, we had Sophie Eckel win the thing running 20:58. So we'll see how her time stacks up. And also Alondra Negron, who was a 5th runner for the Lobos last year in the national championship. She was also in the B race. So we'll see how their times compare if New Mexico really does figure into needing a 5th. It's hard to say a team needs a 5th, Gordon, when they have 4 in the top 5.
I am surprised about the conservative approach from Colorado. Again, they're right now in 8th position at 2K. Danny Jones is right now sitting in 36th place. Again, she's in that front group. She's only a second back, but when you're in this giant blob of 40 to 50 athletes, team scores kind of go out the door because, 1 second difference can be a 40-point difference. We'll really know more where the teams stand after the 4K mark when we're 2/3 through the race.
We saw Cohen drop back as Charlotte Prouse ditches her gloves, and Cohen is drifted a little bit back as Katrina Robinson now is at the front of this pack with Ostrander, Kaladi, Kurgat, and Alicia Monson running behind her.
Yeah, it looks like Robinson and Ostrander are starting to push the pace. Robinson is not afraid of the NCAA stars. This is her first time really racing these type of caliber athletes. Again, she's no joke. 9:03 3K in New Zealand. She is going to be a contender here, and she's running wire for wire with Ostranders and Kaladis and Kurgats right now.
Yeah, she's sandwiched right now, Gordon, in between 3 national titles. She's got Edna Kurgat with 1 to her left, and she's got Ali Ostrander with 2 to her right, and she is showing absolutely no fear early on in this Nuttycombe Invitational. Ostrander, very smart, staying out of the way of the wind, not doing any leading right now. I think she's content to wait.
But the pace definitely has picked up as Robinson, we did not expect the freshman be the one to push the pace. We thought Kurgat would be the one to be like, hey, I'm going now. But it's the freshman. And there's another freshman up there. We don't really see her. She's on the left side of the screen from Penn State, Julia Patterson. She's there back in about 10th place. So like we said keep an eye on the women freshmen. They're going to show up, and they're doing so right now. Danny Jones now, you can see her on your screen. Look, and she's an individual title contender. She's now pushed away to the front. Boise State, though, look, they had 3 women there in that front pack. Boise State, they came in ranked 5th. They're definitely a podium contending team right now, having 3 up there in this deep field along with the 4 Lobos. But I do not see Ava Cohen. She must have fallen off right now.
She did drift back a little bit ago. I don't know if she is still in contact with the lead pack. You mentioned Boise State. Emily Venters up there with 43 on her hip. And then in front of her, that is Claire O'Brien. O'Brien was 12th in the NCAA track championships in the 10,000 and 77th in this meet last year. But Boise State has a very potent 1-2-3.
Yeah, and Ava Cohen looks to be struggling a bit. Went out with her teammates, and looks like she's not able to handle this pace here as the pace has changed as we're getting ready for our 4K split. This is Claire O'Brien, like you mentioned there. She's a junior, 15:42 5K, 32:39 10K. She is the one that no one talked. When you think about Boise State, think about Ali Ostrander, but Claire O'Brien is an athlete to watch when it comes to Boise State's podium chances.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of take Alio's top 5 finish to the bank. The other women haven't had the historical success at this meet, but they're a definite podium contender. And that, like I said, you have a top 3 that strong, you're going to be in a lot of races. We're about to pass 4 kilometers with Kurgat, Kaladi up front, and now Ostrander just inching ahead, it appears. And then on the left you're seeing that's Katrina Robinson of Arkansas, Alicia Monson of Wisconsin in there. And now I think Colorado's starting to assert themselves a little bit with Jones, Morley, and I think there's a 3rd Buffalo up there as well.
So they were 13:24 through 4K. Edna Kurgat in the lead as expected. Kaladi running well with her teammate. But Boise State going stride for stride there with New Mexico. They got 2 up there, and so does New Mexico. So as expected, 2 of the top teams competing early on. Colorado, though, the number 2 team in the nation, not really there in the mix. I think they're going to be somewhere in the 3rd or 4th range as team scores are starting to come in. You see the field coming, the back half of the field kind of coming through this turn. Again, 2/3 through the race now. You see the secondary pack coming through here just over 14:30. See coaching going on. And as soon as we get ready to go, we'll have unofficial team splits. There's that front group.
What I'm curious, we talked about Prouse and Cohen falling off. I'm curious to where New Mexico's 5th is, because those were the 3 and 4 runners there, as this group of 6 looks to break away a little bit from Robinson. So that's Morley and Jones of Colorado, they have to like their position. They haven't had to do any of the leading. In fact, they've been hidden from the wind and the conditions for the entirety of this race, Gordon.
And I think it's time to tell them what the 4K split is, because this is unexpected. Boise State in the lead with 99 points. Colorado, Mark Wetmore factor, start off conservatively. They vault all the way up to second with 109 points. And New Mexico has fallen to 139 points. So Boise State 99, Colorado 109, and New Mexico 139. Villanova, a team we have with the flirting with the top 10 finish, is in fourth there with 163. Arkansas fifth, Indiana 6, Wisconsin 7, NC State 8. You can see there on your screen. But Boise State 99 to Colorado's 109, and New Mexico not going as planned here, as we thought they would have a chance to run away with the title here with having a strong top 4. But right now only Kaladi and Kurgat are really showing their pedigree here early on.
Well, you mentioned the fifth runner for New Mexico with the 4K split. The fifth runner was in 92nd, and Cohen had dropped all the way to 29th. So they bit off a lot early on, going with Kurgat and Kaladi. Prouse and Cohen did, and now they're kind of drifting back. But individually, we have a nice race brewing as well.
Yeah, you got the two Colorado Buffaloes now in that front group, McKenna Morley and Danny Jones. Danny Jones, she has the kick. So if these more distance-based grinders, steeplechasers, 10K, 5K runners want to challenge Danny Jones, they need to get some separation from her, because she has a phenomenal kick. And if she's in it in the final 200 meters, watch out.
Yeah, fresh in everyone's memory. It's 2 years ago, but it still should be fresh. Danny Jones kicking to a mile win at the NCAA Indoor Championships in 2017, and also anchoring Colorado to a title with another ferocious kick. I mean, that is a known quantity in NCAA that Danny Jones can close. See if she can do it here. This is going to be a very dramatic finish. I mean, the team race, as is, very surprised at that 4K split with Boise State ahead of Colorado and New Mexico only in third. Is now Wayne Kaladi starts to push. You can see the pain on her face as she is making a move to the front. I think she knows what we know, Gordon, which is you do not want to leave this very late if you have the closers that you do in Danny Jones and even Allie Ostrander to that, for that sense. I mean, Allie can kick as well.
She is. She's a good miler herself. But Winnie Kaladi making a statement here. Maybe she is the true #1 for the Lobos, as she's making a hard move. And the person we're not talking about, who's still in the mix, is the one running on her home course, Alicia Monson of Wisconsin. They're sitting there right behind Kaladi. I mean, we expected Kaladi, Ostrander, but Monson being here for a potential win, I think, is the most unexpected thing we have in this front group.
Yeah, exactly. We mentioned that last year, 139th in the NCAA championship cross country meet. Even in the 10,000 or the 5,000 outdoors, she was only 18th. This would be a huge result for Alicia Monson this early on in her career. And right now, she is the only one who seems like she's able to go with Kaladi.
Yeah, she's 9:14 3K, 15:38 5K. Doesn't really have much, NCAA finishes to her name, but she has some strong NCAA level talent times up front. And Kaladi looking over her shoulder, and Monson's still with her. Monson is still with her as they're coming down this home. They are moving.
This would be a big upset, Gordon. I know it's September, but this would be a huge win for Alicia Monson as the crowd is now getting into it.
So 18:50 now on the clock, and it is Monson now to the lead. Kaladi, can she hold on? This will be impressive. Can the Wisconsin Badger win on her home course? And she's starting to pull away. Kaladi cannot go with. Kurgat back in third, but Alicia Monson, the junior from Wisconsin, got the home crowd around her. She is now pulling away from Wayne Kaladi. Wow, the Badger magic is real. Alicia Monson pulling away from Kaladi down the home stretch. 19:24 now on the clock. We'll get a shot at that home stretch as they're coming down, but it's going to be Alicia Monson who's going to take the title over Wayne Kaladi down the home stretch. Here she is, Alicia Monson, your winner. 1941, 42, 43, 44. Wow, what a run for Monson. New Mexico goes 2, 3. Danny Jones comes in 4th. Allie Ostrander 5th. So Colorado gets their 2 win. New Mexico gets their 2 win. Here comes Charlotte Prouse with a nice close. So New Mexico gets their 3 in. Robinson of Arkansas, the freshman, who pushed the pace early, gets in. Boise State 2 more, so Boise State has 3. New Mexico 3. Villanova gets 2 more. Colorado has 3. Here's Colorado's 4th. Where's Boise State's 4th, and where are New Mexico's 4th and 5th? We are seeing them come through. There's Monson, your winner. Kaladi, 1935. Kurgat, 1938. Jones, 1939. So both Boise State and Colorado have their 5 across. Where is New Mexico's 5th? And we'll find out who wins this Nuttycombe title. So New Mexico's 4th was in 35th place. That's Ava Cohen. So Ava Cohen of New Mexico was 4th. But New Mexico's 5th is too far back. This might be a Boise State, Colorado 1-2 finish as we're waiting for them to come through. So Colorado right now with 87 runners across.